Good day, everyone, and welcome to Money Monday. This is Executive Pastor Tawana Grant. We are so excited to have you with us on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. We are excited to continue our discussion on the economic changes that we are expecting in 2025 due to our governmental and political transitions that are underway. And just want to make sure that you level set so that you are prepared for changes that will come. We want to get ahead of it. We want to be proactive, not reactive. And so we're going to share today, preparing your business for economic changes, some of the things that you want to consider and pursue information, and then strategize against that. So come on, go ahead and like and share Juice Radio Talk Show today, Money Monday, and let's get ready to go. Let's go.
Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV's church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina Cole is a special guest. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
Welcome to Money Monday. I am so excited today to share in our lunchtime learning. Welcome, Lady Virgo. Welcome, Little Lady. And those of you who are joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, wherever you're streaming, on Twitter, on X. We're so glad to have you with us today. We're hopeful that the information that will be shared will help you strengthen your business, strengthen you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as an innovator, as a ministry leader. This information is necessary as you grow in your space. We want to be forward thinking. We want to be visionary. So we want to lead from the front. We don't want to wait. And so part of the conversations that we're having now is to help you be proactive, not reactive. So that when things occur, so that as things change, as we have to manage in different ways and navigate new policies, new procedures, that we are ready to do so. And again, one of the good things about preparing ahead is that we don't do anything anxiously, that we are anxious for nothing, that we have the time to dialogue. We have the time to converse. We have the time to pursue data. We have the time to pursue our strategies and update them so that we can move swiftly, efficiently, and effectively. So we don't want to be in a position where we don't have enough information or the time necessary to plan ahead. Okay, because planning, what do they say? When you plan to fail, you've already planned to, when you fail to plan, you've already planned to fail. And so we don't want to be in that position. We want to make sure that we have given ourselves the necessary time to pursue information. And with information, then we can make wise decisions, right? What is wisdom? Information applied. So we want to make sure that we apply the information rightly so. And so thank you for joining us, CC. So today's conversation, we're going to be talking about preparing your business for economic changes in 2025. We started it last week, right? How can we make sure we're resilient? How can we make sure that we're diligent? How can we make sure we're pursuing information? How can we ensure that data is the driver for our decisions and not emotions? That is so important. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how many leaders I speak to, how many people that I operate with that I have to encourage, don't move emotionally. You don't want to make a permanent decision on a temporary feeling. You need to write that down. I don't want to make any permanent decisions on a temporary feeling. I have to make sure that I understand, is it me? Is this my emotion? Am I involved in it? To the degree that I am skewing the information that is at hand. Sometimes we have information at hand and we just don't want to believe it. So today we really want to have that conversation, making sure that you are preparing yourself. That's why we're going into the new year. I know everybody talks about New Year resolutions. No, we're talking about level setting ourselves for the end game. We're not just talking about for a season or a temporal period of time. We're talking about getting your mindset for the journey that is ahead, for the long term, to finish strong. what we're doing now is to make sure that we are resilient, make sure that our business are solvent, that they continue even after we've gone, that we leave a footprint in the earth, that we leave an indelible impression, that what you started will still remain, that the good fruits that you've sown in your business, in your ministry, in the things, your purpose, in your children, in your family, that they remain and they continue for generations to generations. We're trying to think long term. We don't want to be short-sighted. So today, let's talk about some of the things, because following the election, we know that there's going to be some impacts. It always is, regardless of what political party. There are always changes that will occur when you have a new administration on your business, when a new CEO comes in, or a new professor or someone new who now has the authority to make new decisions, new policies, new procedures. Things change. And so we want to make sure that you are level set to recognize that this is the normal course of doing business. Listen, if you're operating a business, if you're operating a ministry, you have to understand change is the normal course of doing business. And so then you have to level set yourself to be prepared for change so that when it comes, you can focus on what is key to your business. So in this particular session, we're going to focus on preparing your business for potential changes. We want to make sure that you recognize the economy. There's always some shifts, especially if you're an entrepreneur. You want to anticipate these shifts. You want to develop your financial resilience. Again, we're getting you ready to be mobilized so that you can impact your business in a profitable way, so that you can remain in the black, so that you can stay all right. We don't want to go in the red and the negative. We want to stay in the black. We want to maintain our strategic positions as we grow our business. And regardless of what kind of market fluctuation, regardless of whatever happens, when you're resilient, when you're mindful, when you mind your mind, when you're mindful of the things that you meditate on and that you strategize about, then you can ensure that you are built to last. And that's what we want to talk about today. So one of the first things we're going to talk about, 4 key points, just 4 key points today. We're going to talk about, one is understand key economic indicators. That's what we talked a little bit about last week. We talked about how do I pursue information for my field, what I am doing with the vision that God has called me to, the new business that I'm going to start. How do I now start tooling myself to grow in that space of understanding information so that I can level set and watch those key indicators. We talked about last week, if you're a person like me, you're very busy, you may not have time to dialogue or read through a whole lot of information. Join some of the organizations that are key to your field, key to your study. And therefore, in many instances, they have discussion boards, they have discussion opportunities to come together. And so, listen, when you have many voices, it says in the scripture, in the company of many, there's safety. And so you can find yourself in the company of others that you listen to. You never want to be the smartest person in all your circles. Now, listen, you can be the smartest person in some of them, but not all of them. Why? Because you need to learn from somebody else. You need to be able to glean information. And so you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you've got to always be a continuous learner, always wanting more information. How can I do better? Because there's always a better way. And so one of the things that you can do is you're looking at the important indicators. You want to look at inflation rates. You want to look at interest rates. You want to look at consumer spending trends. You want to look at how is it signaling that there might be an economical shift in my field, in what I provide, in my product, in my services, what I'm doing. How do I now then navigate with what these indicators are saying? And so one of the ways or sources of information that you can look at, of course, is the Federal Reserve economic data. So there's data there that it provides you. And you can even set it up with alerts on certain features and functions, right? So that you can get the monthly inflation rate or you can get the monthly interest rate so that you stay tuned to this kind of informed trends affecting your industry. And you know what this does? When you understand the fluctuation or where the trend is going, this is going to help you with your cash flow management. This is going to help you with your indicator, whether I need to be spending or whether I need to save. What do I need to put my focus in? What do I need to put my seed in? Now, due to what I see is shifting in the landscape of our economy. And so that's going to help you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, even in your ministry. You can see the fluctuation of the economy, and rest assured it's going to impact and influence everybody in your fellowship. Why? Because they are consumers. And so when consumers are being influenced by the economy, it influences you in every area of business, right? And so the advantage of doing that, right, is that you want to make sure you take action. Again, set up these key indicators so that you can see what is the monthly inflation, or what is the interest rate, or what's happening within other dynamics, right, of other areas in your field and study. And then also not just siloed off and just what you do, also those areas that are extension or impactful or influencing to what you do. You want to know how are they being impacted, so then it may influence you. And you want to be able to rightly understand that so that you can make the navigation pivots. You want to be able to pivot when you need to. Another one is we want to emphasize the importance of cash flow management. We talked about that because when you manage your cash flow, and then you're able to handle any unexpected expenses, and you take advantage of the growth opportunities that may be available to you, right? What is available to you? So you want to make sure that you're living in the gap. We want to make sure that we are having more coming in than going out, so that we live in the gap. How can I get either more coming in or less going out, less expenses or more revenue, so that I get a bigger cash gap that I have to operate from? So it's very key that you investigate that. And one of the suggested resources that I want to suggest to you is SCORES, Cash Management Guide. So SCORES is one of the organizations that help business entrepreneurs with information, with training, with tooling, with resources. And again, they provide data for you to leverage so that you can make good decisions on. So when you're going through certain areas in your strategy planning, don't just make it based on what you feel. Don't just base it on what it looks like. Get data so that you're making the right decisions based on statistical data, right? So you have a higher confidence. You have a higher confidence. Why? Because it's been proven by data. So one of the things that you can do as an action item to that, as an action item of making sure you're managing your cash flow, making sure that you're looking out at your resources, is to make sure that you also perform a cash flow audit. You won't believe how many people that I talk to all the time that don't go back and look at where money is going enough. Sometimes you look and they say, I don't know where I spent that. Have you ever had that happen? I had that happen too, until I learned that I need to be intentional. And so it's very important that you are intentional to do a cash flow audit, to identify cash shortages or establish some minimal cash reserves. You want to set aside and say, this is what I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to have what we talked about before, our contingency plan. I'm going to have my reserve. I'm going to have my backup, so that in the event that something happens, I can pivot. I can still maintain my operation. I can still stay in business. And it's recommended to have that kind of cash reserves for 3 to 6 months. But you got to start somewhere. And so I want to encourage you, start where you are. It is not too late. And so even having a cushion of 1 month can help you. A cushion of 2 months can help you. And so that's why we need to be consistently doing that audit and then rechecking, reeling out and reeling in. Sometimes we forget that we also have to think about what could happen that's bad. We talked about SWOT last week. Your strengths, your opportunities, your weaknesses, your threats. You've got to be able to look at all of that, because sometimes we are always wanting to be on the positive side of things. We're always thinking, yes, positive side, we do want to hope for the best, but you always have to plan for the worst case scenario as well, so that you are prepared and then you can operate through that smoothly. How smoothly can you move through a unexpected bill when you plan for one, when you set something aside, when you understood the dynamics of your business, and therefore you recognize, here's some of those my threats. Here are the threats that I already written down. Here are the plans that I've already put against them, so that if they do trigger, if they do happen, I already have a plan that we can engage on. It's already seamlessly fitted in my business so that I can maneuver and navigate the waters when they get turbulent. How many know that? Sometimes in life, water gets a little turbulent, but you have to be able to navigate them to the other side. And so we want to encourage you in that. And so some of the things, again, do your cash flow audit. Make sure that you're handling a minimum cash flow reserves. You need something. You need something as a backup. You need something that can hold you, right? Because you never know what might happen. That's right. Brother Jennings, Robert Jennings, thank you for joining. He says you don't know what will come up next. And so while you're working, and we have faith in God that what he's given us, we're going to be a good steward over it. And so one of those things as a business owner, you're called to look out for the organization. And so one of the ways you do that is having reserves, because there are others who are working in your company, working in your organization, and they are depending on the solvency of the business to make their paycheck. And so your one of the responsibilities is to ensure that you're able to continue to pay in operation for the work that they're doing. And we've seen this so many times, and that's why we want you to prepare ahead. We've seen this so many times where businesses are operating, people are working, but the business hasn't been checking their cash reserves. They haven't been doing an audit, and then they're unable to pay their employees at the end of the week. We have to be good stewards over what has been entrusted unto us. And so if we have a business, then we have to be able to make sure that we're able to support the capacity to which the business needs to operate. Okay. So the next point number three, am I in three? Yes, I am. Point number three we want to talk about is diversifying your revenue streams, right? We talked about having many revenue streams. Even the scripture speaks to that. How do you want to have multiple revenue streams and you diversify? One of the ways that you can go and pursue additional information, it goes to Forbes.com. I'm just giving you some sites. There are multiple sites that you can try as far as gaining information. You can do searches, but these are some of the ones that you can leverage to get information from a confident source of information, right? And so Forbes articles, they give several articles on revenue diversification. And so this is an opportunity for you. Again, what happens when you have multiple revenue sources? It reduces your reliance on one stream. Oh my goodness. You never want to be single threaded if at all possible. That's why you see in many restaurants, they have more than one thing that they sell. In many businesses, while they may have a banner item, a banner product, they start to trend in other products as well. So that they are diversified in the offerings that they have. And so even in what you're doing for your business, look at diverse efforts of revenue. While you might have the dynamics of one particular area is great. But think about, how can I now take that one item and now do other things? I was just talking to another business owner just the other day about one of the things that I've seen in one of the businesses in my marketplace, corporate world where I work, that they do donuts and they do scones. And then one day they also created these little bitty donut holes. And you've seen that Dunkin' Donuts. And what they've done is they've taken the leftovers and instead of throwing it away, instead of putting it in the trash, they use what's left to create a whole new product. And so we want to encourage you today to take what's left. Take some of the residual that you have. Maybe you make your product or your service, and then you have a new way of spinning it and making it available to a whole new dynamics of client base. And so that's what you want to look at when you diversify. You want to get away from the whole reliance on one stream of income. When you're relying on one stream of income, if that particular area is impacted or influenced by economic changes, it causes more stress on the business. So look at ways to diversify. And you want to make sure, because when you offer more things, there's more stability in change in markets. So when you just have one thing, you're heavily dependent on that. So when the market changes, it can be a huge dramatic swift and a swing for you. But when you have multiple things, when the market changes, you have more stability because it might influence this one thing, but my other 2 or 3 areas are working just fine. And so that is one of the positive things that you have in diversifying your revenue streams, because you have multiple, even in my life, multiple streams of income. We've opened some business and we went after it, pursuing it for one thing. But then as the Lord led, we also started offering a different services along with it. So we went with the mindset of one. Yes. But we went with the mindset of one, but it became and attributed and grew and evolved into multiple. And so that's what we're thinking about for your business, for God to give you witty ideas and creative thinking, and also to leverage your team. Ask your team, what are they thinking about? How do they see us going into 2025? What are some of the things that we can diversify in? Because again, you have the counsel of many, and you have the voices of many who can be instrumental into helping you. And so you want to leverage that, because this is what's going to help. So that's your action item. Identify just one potential new revenue stream for your business, such as a complimentary service. Oh my goodness, my sister was just mentioning that for one of our other business. She said, listen, we're going to give this service away complimentary, because I believe, oh my goodness, I believe if we do this service for free, it's minimal time, minimal investment. it will bring about a large return on investment. We're going to get a large return on investment because we're going to spend our time in this complementary area. Sometimes you have to think about that. I know we're often saying our service or product always have to make money, but sometimes when you offer something on this hand for free, it opens up a wealth of opportunity for you where you will get paid for it. And so that's just another opportunity to look at a new stream. Or you can consider building a new customer segment. We talked about that before, reaching out to some new people. We want to make sure that we are managing our contact list well. Remember that, revise, refine, go back and look. When was the last time you reached out to the people that you supported before? If they are not loyal, if they have not become a sticky client, that kind of outreach, that kind of client touch will make them become a sticky client. Sometimes as you are renewing and you're revamping your strategy, always include a customer service perspective so that you are reminded consistently to reach back out, to remind them what new products and services. You don't always have to be offering something new. Thank them for what they've already done. How many know when you feel appreciated, you start saying, oh, maybe they fell off the top of mind. Maybe your business wasn't at top of mind because life keeps lifing and things keep happening. But when you send a note to say, I appreciate you, we're going into the holiday season. This is the perfect time to send a wishing you well. I hope you and the family are doing well. Jess was thinking about you. If there's anything that our services can provide for you now or in the new year, consider us. This is an appropriate time to be able to reach out and also expand your customer base, but also make a touch to the clients that have already leveraged your services. And then create an action plan so that this is not, I want us to get away as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as ministry. Let's get away from doing things haphazardly and every now and then. Let's get to the point where it becomes a part of our behavior. Where reaching our client is part of our behavior. We're looking for opportunities and expecting great things to happen is just a natural part of our behavior. We're looking out for risk and opportunities and threats and our strength. It just becomes a part of our behavior. It becomes a part of our character. It becomes a part of our DNA. What we do, Lord have mercy, what we do just becomes natural. And so when we do it more, the more we do it, I like what one person said. They said, practice makes perfect. No, she said practice makes better. So I want to encourage you today, the more that we practice what we hear, the more that we practice what we learn, it's going to make us better. It's going to make our business better. It's going to make how we operate with others better. It's going to make the information that we have received become fruit in our lives. And so that's what we want to get to the point. Write a plan. Make it plain. Engage in it. Don't just write it down. Oh, Lord. Don't just put it on the paper. Engage in it. Operate with it. Work it through. Even when you don't see it. Even when it doesn't look like it's happening. Things are still working in your behalf. You're just planting seeds today for what is going to be a bountiful harvest later. Don't give up in what you have been called to do. Don't give up in your purpose, in your calling, in your mission. Stay strong. Amen. Journey strong. Finish the course and finish strong. Okay. And so our last point today, point number 4, yes, is that we want to start partnering with other businesses that can lead to new customers, expanded offerings, and resource sharing, right? How can I partner with other businesses? Maybe what you do, maybe what you bring could be an asset to another company. And you need to look at that. How can we work together in partnership? How can we collaborate in such a great way that we do great things in the earth together? It is said, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Go together. And so there might be, as you consider your organization today, as you consider your business today, where might there be an opportunity for partnership? And we've had conversations before. It's got to be key. The partner that you work with, you got to have similar visions, similar missions, similar way of operating, similar level of integrity, similar level of character. Otherwise, it's going to be a strained relationship. So even as you pursue an opportunity in partnership, you got to make sure that there's good alignment because you are now joining your brand, your name with another organization. And so you want to make sure that your name and your brand operate well together. You want to make sure that as they operate, you all are operating from the same level of excellence. because they are now an extension of who you are, and you are now an extension of who they are. And sometimes you want to make sure that you are at least close in engagement, so that maybe you need to bring them up. Maybe you coming together, they bring you up, but you don't want to be so far that there is a negative impact from your partnership. You don't want a negative impact. You want a positive impact, so that you journey farther together. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And so you guys can help each other and push each other forward and encourage each other in the journey that's up ahead. And so maybe you want to look at that in alignment. Some of the things that you've been doing, everything on your own, on yourself and alone. How can I now partner with somebody else who has that particular strength? And then therefore we are stronger together. We're better together. I always tell them that in ministry. We are better together. We bring our collaborative strength. We bring our collaborative wisdom. We bring our collaborative resources together, and we can get something done great for God. Yes, you can. You can get something done that's wonderful. And so some of the resources that you can reach out to, of course, is the HubSpot. There's a guide there on business partnerships. There is a guide, again, HubSpot's guide. You can go there, HubSpot. And so it is a guide there that helps you understand, how do I come in business with somebody? How do I involve a partnership? How do I create a synergy so that we both win, right? And so that is so helpful. So some of the steps that you want to do in action that you can take is to reach out to one potential partner this month. We talked about it. What is that one thing? We talked about, look at one thing that you can do to add as a new stream of income and revenue. Then we also want to talk about, think about it and pray about it. What is that one potential partner that you might want to collaborate with, that you can extend a proposal to, that has mutual benefits? Because you never want to go to anyone talking about how you're going to win. They want to know how they win into. And so you want to make sure that there is a mutual win that is mutually beneficial and that is advantageous for you both. And so that it is aligned to both of your goals. And so in that, while you do that as your action item for this month, looking at that one organization that you can partner with, you want to make sure that that particular partner, again, there is a mutual benefit. There's a mutual partnership for a win, that everybody wins, and that there's a mutual sharing of mission and vision and goals. So that as you align, you make sure you recognize who you're aligning with. Okay? And so proximity does matter. Who you align with, it does matter. And so in the company of those who are wise, you will become more wiser. But in the company of fools, yes, you will become more foolish. And so we want to make sure that we are aligning ourselves with those that we can grow with and that we can help them grow too. And so I hope on today that the topic has been a benefit to you. We're really talking about some valuable, actionable strategies that you can take as a business owner to proactively adapt to the economic changes and position yourself to sustain growth. We want to position ourselves to sustain. Yes, we want fruit that remains. We want to be able to continue in what God has called us to do, whether it be as an innovator, whether it be as an entrepreneur, whether you are in consulting, whether you are in ministry, whether you are leading in any capacity, even in your home. However you lead, we want to make sure that you're able to sustain it so that it bears much more fruit, so that there's a growth lifestyle. Yes, that you are a continuous learner. And so that is what really moves the needle. You don't have to, I know sometimes we're looking for things to happen and just launch and just jump off, and so that we go from 0 to 100. But no, sometimes in life, you just got to keep moving the needle. And in the needle is the process. And so in the process, you're learning. In the process, you're growing. In the process, you're gaining the strength that you need for the entire journey, not just for your current season, not just for your now, but where you're going. And so as a visionary, you always have to be thinking, I know it might be difficult. That's why we're preparing your heart right now. That's right. Trust the process. We're preparing your heart right now so that we know things are going to change. This is natural. This happens every time we have a new president or we have new governing powers that are now transitioning. Every time. And so this is to prepare your heart, because this is nothing strange, but you have to be ready. And so we want to make sure that you have the information, the support, and the encouragement to finish strong. So this is Executive Pastor Tawana Grant. Thank you so much for joining us today again on Money Monday as we share information during our lunchtime learning. I pray that it has been a blessing to you on today. Again, thank you so much for those of you who have joined us on Facebook, on Lady Virgo. Thank you so much. Little Lady, Robert Jennings, Cece. Thank you so much. The Juice Radio. We appreciate all of you for joining, whether you're on Facebook Live, whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. We just thank you for being a part of this experience, and we pray it be a blessing to you. Peace and blessings. God bless you.